And away we go. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. Another Thursday. The Fly Degenerates Pick Show. Brought to you by the three flyest degenerates out. This week we'll do a quick little recap of the New York sports teams as far as football is concerned. And then we will make our best bet picks. 3 picks, all against the spread. 1 1-point pick, 1 2-point pick, 1 3-point pick. But before we get into that, Word Life, Big L, how you feeling?
Chilling, boy, chilling, ready to go, man. Excited to be here.
And Flex, it's been a week. How are you feeling?
Juicy Jueves, that's what we call it.
Juicy
Jueves de Jugo.
So, when it comes to New York sports, we got a quarterback that don't want to play. We got a coach that don't want to coach, that wants to get the New York sports radio host to coach the team. What's going on, Flex? What do you make of all of this? This Jets
Never a dull day,
fiasco?
man. What else are we going to talk about if we can't come up with stories? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bored. You got to rattle the cage.
But seriously though, as somebody who cares about the team, what do you make of the last week?
I've seen this before, man. It's like it's any little thing, they take it, they make it a bigger deal than it is. Like
what?
Who's
they?
Easy, just in general.
Are we gonna go? Are we gonna be the media guy? Are you gonna? Is that what?
No. What I'm saying is that the Jets are easy. It's easy. It's an easy target. It's low hanging fruit.
No, come on.
So stuff goes on, but I'm saying what? Let me see. Stuff goes on.
Go ahead.
And like for example, they like the whole off season, they make it about the Jets and like everything about the Jets and stuff, and then people like when it goes bad. So like specifically for the Jets, because it's like they talk them up so much, and it's like, oh, like get out of here. And then when stuff goes bad, people relish on it. They like to, they like to make fun. They like to point. It's like a car crash. You know what I'm saying? Like, traffic. There's a lot of traffic. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to like the accident, it's not really that bad. It's just it's on the shoulder. It was a little dust up or whatever. But everybody's looking. Everybody's pointing at it. Some people are taking pictures. So like everything gets backed up. There's a lot of congestion. Everybody wants to talk about it. And there you go. That's how we end up where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Par for the course.
A little, just for the media's sake, they blow it up a little.
Yeah, of course.
Just for the media's sake, who blows it up a little bit? And blows what up?
Topics, any little. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
That's what Flex is saying.
Gas to it. Yeah, that's what Flex is saying.
But it's obvious. Just like.
That's your take.
Noticed...
Yeah, it's not obvious. I don't understand.
You say, I just don't. I don't want to get into. Maybe this was a mistake. I didn't ask you about the Jets to hear you moan and groan about what people are saying. You always come with this. People are saying this. People are saying that. Just like after the first week of the season, the first thing you came out with was, oh, everybody, you got what you wanted, and this whole victim thing. Nobody's even asking about that. My question to you is not about what people are saying about the Jets. It's what are how as a Jets fan, when you have reports that the guy who's going to be starting quarterback this week is reluctant to play. That's not that's unusual. That's not the same. That's not we've been here before. Yeah. I've never heard of that before. And
because
the head coach getting outed because he's having a text relationship with a sports talk radio guy, that's not par for the course. When have you heard of that before?
Well,
Wait,
I mean
put me on to the
kinda,
solid shit.
I didn't pay attention to that because I can't stand that guy. Like I can't stand him in general.
You can't stand the
but
Jets?
no. Joe Bunny.
The money.
Yeah, but even if you can't stand Joe Beningo, this is a thing that happened, and it
Yeah, I know.
it
What I'm
reflects
saying
on the
is,
coach of the team that you allegedly care about, and that's what I'm asking you about. Not all this moping and
what I'm
moaning
saying,
and groaning.
I didn't. But see, also one thing, it kind of proves my point that the like him being pseudo part of the media, right? Like that Joe B, right? And him getting a platform that kind of exacerbates everything, right?
What
Like,
do you mean him
and
getting a platform?
well, he's on a radio. He's he goes on the most popular, or one of the two most popular like radio stations, like sports radio stations in New York. So what I'm saying is, it just makes it, like it makes it bigger. So I'll admit, like
it makes what bigger?
Well,
The fact that the coach is texting him details about the team?
like I said, I don't like him. I don't like that person. So I didn't pay attention.
So you don't
to
know what's
anything.
going on, is what you're saying?
No, I know that something happened, but I don't know exactly what he said or anything like that. I know that
So
he
you
was
don't know what's going
him,
on. Okay, then
like
you can
30.
say that.
He texted him. He texted him like 30 times in a row or something like that, and like
Who
his mad that
texted
he
who
didn't
30
respond.
times in a row? If you don't know what's going on, then we
Benigno.
could just say you don't know what's going on, and then we can move on from it. Or
Well,
I could
what
tell
I'm
you what's
saying
going
is-
on.
Yeah, that's what I want to
If
know.
you're,
I wanna
if
know.
you're,
Okay,
if you're,
go-
mi-
say
if you're,
exact-
if you're misinformed
say
or confused,
Say exactly what happened then, because I'm just going off like him. They were supposedly friends.
yeah, okay. But if you don't know what the deal is, then let's make sure we have an
Okay,
established topic, and we all are informed respectively.
Because you said the situation. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
I'm
I
aware
thought
of,
you, Mr.
I'm aware of the
Online all day,
situation.
following everything Jets, would know the details of
No.
the situation. But apparently, you only like to read the details that you enjoy to read. I guess I don't know.
Go
But
for
anyway,
it.
what happened?
Go.
So, Jets head coach has had this ongoing relationship with sports talk radio host from WFAN, Joe Beningo. And Joe has, I mean, this is going back to last year that they've had this text relationship. And it's funny because to me, I remember when I saw that Saleh went on Joe Beningo's podcast. And I was kind of surprised by that because despite the fact that he does have, he's obviously a popular radio host, and his podcast is popular as well. I was just surprised that he would just do that. I just figured if he's gonna do an interview, I would have thought he would do it like on a more traditional medium, like on the fan, on the radio. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he can't do that because of his deal with ESPN. I don't know, but I was surprised he went on the podcast to begin with. But then after he's on the podcast, like it seemed like they had some type of relationship. But the thing is that he never spoke about it. It was always Joe would talk about it. Joe would say, yeah, I was texting with the coach and da-da-da-da-da. And I didn't really know how true it was. I don't know to what level people embellish things when they're on the radio or shit like that. So maybe he's making this up. Maybe he's saying he texts him, but he doesn't. I don't know. But I'm thinking to myself, if Saleh really has this type of relationship with this dude, somebody should get in his ear and be like, be careful with what kind of information you're sharing. What up?
It's not a good ally.
Yeah, listen, I can understand the benefits of a head coach especially of a New York professional sports team, having some value and having relationships with some prominent people in the media and prominent people who are going to be obviously talking about the team on sports radio and stuff like that. I can understand and appreciate the value in that. So I don't think it's crazy for them to have a text relationship. But the way that Joe presented it made it seem very loose and casual, and in a way that I was kind of like, if he's really communicating with this dude like this, Saleh, either somebody better, if he doesn't already know that he should be careful, somebody needs to get in his ear. Because I was thinking for a long time, it's only a matter of time if this is true that something's gonna go sideways. And I just thought something's gonna go sideways because he's friendly with him, and it was like I would listen to this dude, and anytime he would criticize the team, particularly criticize the coach, he would always preface it with, "I really like the guy, he's been really nice to me. We went golfing." He would always give him that caveat. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he's doing a smart thing, keeping this guy on his side so he doesn't dog him and trash him on the radio and call for his job, et cetera, et cetera. But I was thinking to myself, if things go sideways with the Jets, eventually that's not going to hold up. I know that this guy is going to say, we got to fire this guy. It don't matter how many times you go out to golf with him. But so anyway, they had this ongoing relationship. And then this past week, Joe has he has a weekly show that he does on the Fan on Saturdays for a couple hours. I don't remember how many hours it is. He does his podcast. He does guest fill-ins. And he does a weekly spot with their afternoon drive show. During his weekly spot with the afternoon drive show, after the most recent Jets game, Jets loss, he was, going crazy. We got to fire this guy. We got to fire that guy. And he was just, eventually came to the point, I forget what the, so he was like, yeah, the coach, he texted me, and he was just like giving details about the text conversations that they had, and giving details to the point where he said he doesn't like Zach. He's told me he doesn't like Zach. And then he read a text, and the text was something along the lines of, I guess if Joe, this is all Joe's claims. Joe said that he texted the coach all these ideas and plans and what he should do and things that he should be doing with the team. He should start this guy. He shouldn't start that guy. And I guess he told him that he should put Zach back in, Zach Wilson, at quarterback. And then he's telling, now he's on the radio telling these dudes, yeah, and the coach texted me back and he said, I quarterback number 3, are you kidding me? So he was taking that as, are you kidding me? I can't start this guy. I don't like him. He stinks. But I guess he claims that what he meant by that was that Joe had been asking him to bench him, and now he's asking him to play him. And he's like, are you kidding me? You've been telling me to bench this guy forever. But either way, whether he misinterpreted it or not, like, this guy just basically started reading these texts and all this shit on the air. And it was crazy because then, like, people picked up on it. It started flying around, and, Saleh basically got humiliated. He got played, and then go ahead. What do you have to say? Go ahead.
No, just because he's not from this area. He's like he's from the Midwest where people don't act that way, and he came across a snake, and he didn't think that people act that way, and I'm sure it's a surprise to him.
I feel you, and I feel bad for Saleh because
that's terrible.
I think
because
let me say, there's part of me that feels bad for Saleh, but there's another part of me that you knew this dude was a fan. First of all, you knew he's a fan. You know he's not a
loose cannon.
Well, I don't know if he knew he was a loose cannon. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I will say maybe he doesn't know his background. Maybe he doesn't know he's a loose cannon. But at minimum, my point is, at minimum, he knew this dude is a fan. He's not a reporter. He's not a journalist that he's going to observe any kind of confidentiality on the record, off the record with you. That's my point, is that he at minimum knew that. And for him to... Like, I find it hard to believe that there was nobody, especially with the way that the Jets keep everything from a PR standpoint. They're very kind of tight with a lot of that stuff in terms of who gets to do interviews, what gets said. We need to have a PR rep in the room when you're on the phone with the doing your radio hits. Like, we know that's what the Jets do. So I'm just surprised. And the Jets, I mean, Joe Beningo's been a radio host for 100 years. If you've been in New York sports, you know his deal. So, or at least if you've been with the Jets for a year, you've heard of the name Joe Beningo. If you work in those offices in Jets Drive, so I'm just surprised that nobody at any point was like, "Yo, let this guy know that this is not this ain't San Fran, this ain't Seattle, this ain't Detroit." Like, and even if it was, like, bro, like, you knew this is not a reporter. Like, you knew that this is a fan. To be honest with you, whether he's on the radio or not, you got to be smarter than that, bro. You cannot you cannot be that, like, if you cannot be that naive and succeed as a head coach. Not in this town. No way.
No, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think part of it has to do with it being around here, because for all we know, he's done it before with like
other.
Like in the other stops that he's had. So,
but
it's
even
like,
so, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it smart. Like, even in Seattle, even in San Fran, to do the same thing, even if the guy doesn't inevitably end up selling you out, it's still not a smart thing to do. Like, what world do you live in, bro? Like,
no,
what world
I
do
get
you
it.
live in where you think that it's in any way beneficial to you? Like, listen, like I said, it's one thing if you're having a text relationship with the media and you're trying to massage situations to your benefit in a smart type of way. That's one thing. But this guy just sound like, reading those texts, the type of things that you're saying to this dude who's just a fucking fan. What are you thinking? I don't give a shit if it's New York or fucking Alabama. It don't matter. Like, texting that type of shit to a fan is just totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but like, first of all, like, I think, he basically texted, like, going off what you said, he basically texted the same answer that he had to, like, Michael K on the K show when they asked him the same question, when they asked, why not go back to Zach Wilson? It's like, are you guys freaking kidding me? Like, all of you guys were clamoring to bench this guy for weeks. He stinks. We don't want to see him again. Give Trevor Siemian a chance. And it's like, we gave him a chance. You've been dogging me for saying that Zach Wilson is the quarterback who gives us the best chance to win every week. You've been mocking me for saying that. I show you the first one. He gets booed. He gets booed out of the arena. QB2 gets booed out of the arena. I give you Trevor Siemian because, even online, like you see, like they post multiple times. I've seen posts like career stats of like Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, and Zach Wilson, and without the name, and it's like, why is it name which one is which? It's like, oh, okay, Trevor Siemian has this many touchdowns to interceptions, like, he should be at least getting a shot. And when you see what he actually does on the field, for you to immediately be clamoring to get this person back, it's like, really? Like,
listen, I don't begrudge him that. I agree with him. I think it's ridiculous that so many of the same people that were crying and moaning about you got to sit down, Zach, are just shamelessly gonna be like.
None of them are saying that that's what they were saying, by the way.
No, I understand that, but that's not the point. That has nothing to do with it. Because first of all, that's not the only thing that he was texting with Joe Beningo. Joe Beningo read some crazy things that Saleh was texting. He also read a text that Saleh had, that when he was talking about having lost the quarterback at the beginning of the season, that Saleh texted Joe Beningo a whole list of coaches that had also lost their quarterback and their records, like, to compare them and what do you expect type of thing. What are you thinking? You cannot be a coach anywhere if you think that type of relationship and that type of communication is appropriate. Like, that's a fireable offense.
especially that type of person. Like, because for example, like the reason that
But if you're a
I
coach,
said
you
that I
gotta
did,
assume everybody's that type of person. You can't risk your
yeah,
fucking job for some foolishness, for defending
yeah,
your
but that's
record
that.
with defending yourself against Joe Beningo. You
But see,
can't.
that's why I'm saying, like, I think most of it is naivete. It's like
Well, listen,
it's him
naivete, you
coming
lost
from,
me, man.
yeah, because he's coming from, like, you see the type of person he is.
I
It's
do,
like
and that's
always
why I think he
positive.
can't be a coach anymore. Because, like, yo, bro, like he can't even. And like, listen, y'all know I have caped up for Salah for a minute since last year. I've been said that like I want to see him do well. This is my guy, but yo, I've seen enough at this point.
Yeah, I
Between
mean,
the naivete with Joe Beningo, that's just the icing on the cake. That's
Yeah.
on top of all this other stuff. Like it just seems like he just never had. You know what the funny thing that I was thinking about? Him and Dable are in a lot of ways complete polar opposites. And I feel like Dable could use a little bit more Salah, and Salah could use a little bit more Dable type attitude. Because when you're losing, and like, listen, I still feel like Salah got dealt a shit hand with the obviously with Rodgers getting hurt, and then besides Rodgers getting hurt, just all the foolishness
the
that has gone
backup
on. It
quarterback.
just seems like what?
No, the backup quarterback situation,
Yeah,
the
the whole
leaky,
situation
like
sucked, and that
the
wasn't his
leaks and all that
fault.
shit.
Yeah, and that wasn't his fault. But what is his fault is when he just has the dumbest, foolish responses. He just every single time he gets in an interview or gets at the podium, he's like the questions that are coming are the most obvious questions ever, and he looks completely blindsided. Like he looks like like the most obvious questions about the quarterback, the most obvious questions. He seems like he had no like, bro. You should be prepared for these answers. You know these questions are coming, and every time he never has a good answer. He's talking about I gotta plead the fifth to certain questions.
Well,
Like, bro,
I, like for that one, for the plead the fifth, you saw what the answer was, but he couldn't say it.
doesn't
They
matter.
asked him.
It's his
They,
job to have a
yeah, but what I'm
response, not
saying
plead
is,
the fifth. I'm
but what I'm
sorry.
saying is,
What you're
what
saying
I'm
is just
saying.
making excuses for every
No, no, no,
turn.
no,
And
no.
like
It
the
doesn't
plead
matter.
the
Like I
fifth
don't,
thing, the
because at
plead the
this point,
fifth
it
thing
doesn't.
again is just one of many things. If it was just
I
the plead the
understand.
fifth thing, I'll let it slide. But yo, this is just week after week. It's just gaff after gaff after gaff. At what point is it like, yo, this dude is not he's not built for this?
No, but what for? First of all, like I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, like because like at this point, like I don't know if he's right or he's gonna be able to make it. But what I'm saying is like the stuff that he's saying, it's like he has nothing else to say. For example, like his answer to when they asked him, like when he said
Unacceptable.
plead the fifth, they asked him like when they said that, okay, why don't you give them a chance? You just saw why he didn't want to give him a chance. That's why he pled the fifth, because he couldn't say, oh, because
You
they're
know
even
what the
worse
thing
than him.
is? I don't even think that that's why. I don't even think that that's why he
Yo,
pled the
I
fifth.
guarantee
I
you.
think he had
But
to
he didn't
plead
want
the
to say it.
fifth because it's not up to him. Forget about whether or not listen, you could tell me all day long, oh, look at Tim Boyle, look at Trevor Siemian, they both suck, so that's why it didn't make sense to bench Zach, and that's why he couldn't say that he wasn't going to bench Zach because they suck. Fine. Like I said, he got dealt a shitty hand. But you knew the questions were coming. You got to be prepared. This plead the fifth is unacceptable, whether it's a fair question or whether the response is something you can't really say. Doesn't matter. You know the question is coming. You got to have a better response than I plead the fifth. That's first of all. And second of all, if all the backup quarterbacks suck and that's why you're not benching Zach, that's fine. But I don't even believe that that's it. I believe that it wasn't up to him to bench Zach. Because it wasn't up to him to have Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian as the backups either.
Yeah, that's
He's
what
not
I ain't gonna lie.
calling the shots.
That's what I
And when
read.
he makes it so clear, like that's the problem is that when not only do you not have answers, when you're continuously just making a buffoon of yourself at every turn, at some point it becomes clear to everybody, including the people in the locker room, who I'm sure is clearer to them before everybody else. But the fact of the matter is that he's not the boss there. He's neutered. He's not the leader of the squad. But now everybody sees it. And once you've been neutered like that, you can't go on. You can't go on like that. And I'm sorry, but this whole, he got dealt this crappy hand, and he couldn't say what he wanted to say. That's not an excuse. That happens that's called being a head coach in the NFL. There's always gonna be something that you can't. There's always gonna be a question asked to you by the media that you can't give them 100% honest, straight up response. That happens in every press conference. Every single coach gets those questions. But you have to have better responses that project leadership, other than the dude is mumbling and stumbling all over the place, pleading the fifth. I mean, he just at every turn he just looks like he makes it so obvious that he's not in charge. Even if you're not in charge, you got to make it look like you're in charge.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but with stuff like that, you can't even fake it. You can't even.
Then you can't be a coach. Then you cannot be a head coach in the NFL.
But I'm saying, like, if he wants to play somebody else and he knows that he can't fake it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get to the bottom of it. Like I said, this is what happens in this market. This is why it's tougher for every quarterback. It's tougher for every coach because, like,
and I
for example,
agree with
like
you on that. In terms of it being tougher in this market.
Like, for example, like you saw the Sean McDermott shit, right?
What Sean McDermott shit?
Well, you didn't see that. Okay, well, okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
No. Like, apparently, there was a report on one of the Bills websites that were like a Bills reporter, like what team report? Not a team reporter, but like a fan reporter, whatever. He was like asking around a bunch of people, like, about Sean McDermott. And I guess because this is what happens when a team is going through turmoil. Like, obviously, this isn't the same turmoil that the Jets are going through, but they're underachieving. The Bills are underachieving at this point. It came out that 2 years ago, during a practice, I guess, he was preaching about communication, right? And how important it was. And he brought up the 9/11 terrorists. And he brought up how the 9/11 terrorists were able to get through and perform this act of terrorism because of the communication that they had within each other. And they were able to coordinate all of these acts. And
I heard about that.
Yeah, so successful or whatever. And obviously terrible, horrible shit to even bring up or whatever. But they had a press conference where he stopped and he addressed that comment, pretty much confirmed that that's what he said, right? And said, I'm not addressing anything else in regards to that report. That in Buffalo, okay, that's fine. When Bill Belichick does it in his thing, that's fine. In New York, if he was in New York, like how the Buffalo Bills want to claim how they're the only New York team, if that was in New York, bro, he would have been fired already. Fired.
I agree, but here's the thing. Saleh doesn't even do that. He doesn't even do that. At least that projects some type of strength, some type of leadership, some type of ownership. If you're going to go, I'm not taking questions on that anymore. Like, Saleh doesn't even do that. He just stumbles and bumbles all over himself every single time.
No, I get it. But my main point is, like, here, he's not able to do that. You're able to do that in other
Well, he's not
places. You're
able
not
to do
able to
what
do
he's
that here.
doing either. So how's that? How's it working out the way he's doing it now?
All
You're not.
right.
You know what you're not able to do anywhere is give honest thoughts about the team and all these details and all this foolishness and defend your record against radio hosts. You're not allowed to do that anywhere. That doesn't make
Like I
sense to
said,
do in
for the
any
record,
market.
like I'm not saying that, you know, like it's spiraling in a way where, like, you know, if he has to go, he has to go. Like,
Okay,
because of all.
my original question was not. I just wanted to know, how does, as a Jets fan, how do you absorb, like, do you not care? Do you focus more on, oh, look what the media is doing and people are talking, and you don't care about what that says about the coach?
Well, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is like,
But that's my
I know that
question.
it's,
That's what I'm
but
asking.
what I'm saying is, in my initial answer was just to, like, to convey that some of this stuff is you know, concerning, but it's all amplified. Like, everything is amplified just because
Yeah, but why do you
it's here.
focus on the amplified? Like, this is what it is. Like, if you want to root for the
Because
Jets, this is the cards you're
yeah,
dealt. Until
but
the
what
Jets
I'm
move to fucking Winnipeg, this is what you're dealing with. Like, you
yeah,
can't.
but what
I
I'm
don't know
saying
why
is
you
I can't
always
get
make these complaints and these arguments about how the Jets are treated and it's not fair and the media says this and
but see,
everything
this
is
is what you.
amplified. Like, who cares? Like, we get it. This is what it is. Like, we don't need to keep going over
Well,
that all
yeah, but
over
that's what
again
I'm
every
saying. It's
time.
like, yeah, but what I'm saying is, personally, I don't get angry about all this other stuff because I take it for what it is. Like, for example,
Okay,
four
so
weeks
what is it?
ago.
If you take it for what it is, then
Okay,
what is it? What
but
does it
let
mean
me
to you?
let me flip it. 4 weeks ago, we were saying how Dable, he should be fired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Who
he's a
said Dable should be
buffoon.
fired?
No, just in general, like the conversation is out there. He wins a game, he wins 2 games, and that shit is like it's never happened. So all it takes, if Robert Saleh and the Jets win this week, that shit's not even a conversation anymore.
A good
I
point.
don't care if it's a conversation anymore. It's a conversation now because the Jets didn't win and the Jets haven't won. And all I wanted to know is what's your opinion on how this reflects on the coach and on everything that's going on there? I don't know why it's always, oh, woe is me. This isn't fair. This isn't right.
What am I supposed to say? It's a mess. I said the first thing is it's a mess. But I don't. But the thing is, it's like it's it's a mess. You know, if people have to go, they're gonna have to go because this is the way it's trending right now.
This is the guy you want coaching your team?
What I'll say is I'm a lot less confident in his ability now than I was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because of all of this, but but the thing is, it's not only him. But I know that it's all gonna fall on him because of everything that's going on. Because when you have a perceived, this was my issue with Rex Ryan, but like the year and a half or 2 years when at the end of his road, like there was like people talking to the media behind people's backs. There was the Tebow thing that was, that was put on him by the owner. Like it's just like I think the point at the end of the day is like I don't know what like his power is at the end of the day, and a lot of this stuff, like for example, like let's say the Zach Wilson stuff, this whole Zach Wilson stuff, like if the whatever the rumors are true of Ricky Woody Johnson is the one that kind of pushed for him to get for them to draft Zach Wilson, then I don't know, like if that's the case, which people like theorize, then I don't know how anybody in their right mind could then turn around and blame Robert Saleh or Joe Douglas for having to draft him in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where the confusion is. It's like I can only defend for like what I see of the stuff that they do. I can't be hypothetical or in terms of like, oh yeah, like Joe Douglas needs to get out of here. He whiffed on his biggest pick, second, the number 2 pick when the draft was Zach Wilson. Well, if he was kind of like in the middle and he was considering other quarterbacks, and Woody Johnson fat-handed, and because of the JetBlue connections and all of that stuff, they made him draft Zach Wilson. Then how can I rip either one of the two? And how can I rip Robert Saleh for having to say that gives them their best chance to win, even though Woody Johnson, because he can't he can't say what he mean, like can't say what he thinks, because Woody Johnson is the one who made him draft him, and at the same time he can't insult him because he's a player's coach or whatever. So he can't insult him. So on top of that, he knows that like that he's stuck in no man's land, and also on top of all of that, no matter who you bring in, it's going to be the same thing because the owner owns the team. So that's just my point.
No matter who you bring in at coach or at quarterback?
At coach, at GM, at stuff like, when it's stuff like that, he's going to be like, if he's going to have his stupid fingers in there.
Oh, like, now it's stupid fingers.
No, Woody Johnson.
No, I know. Now it's super fingers. When week 1, when he was on field with the chain on, he was the man. Now it's stupid fingers.
No, he was never going to be.
No, come on, Flex. Don't put that on me.
I sent that to you as a joke because that's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, now it's a joke. But if Rodgers never got hurt and they were 8-2, it wouldn't be a joke. He'd be the man. All right.
Okay. So you think that I would stand for a 70-year-old white man to be rocking a chain with Woody on it? Like, also, not to mention, like, because I never mentioned this, but in the same font that the Woody Woodpecker.
Of course,
cartoon,
that was the whole point. That was the point.
I didn't even notice.
I thought that was why you thought it was so fly.
No, absolutely not. But just like in general, like, that's not what I'm not about that. But
no, it's just, I don't believe that. I don't know that.
It's part of the humor of all of this. It's ridiculous. Okay.
I don't know that. I don't know that because you don't. You're such a Baghdad Bob with it that I don't know. I know that you don't.
Well, I have to play
clearly
into character.
Well, okay, but then I don't know that then.
You see this? You see this? You see this? You see this?
Yes,
see this?
and put the camera to the side so we can see the life-size cardboard cutout of Woody Johnson with the chain to the right.
No, I have it closer to the garage door because it started to melt. So I have to put it closer to the outside so that it hardens up again.
Good.
Well, I just was I was just curious what your thoughts were on everything that has happened with the Jets in the last week and how it has had specifically with Zach and with Saleh and how that has impacted how you look at them and how you look at the situation. That was the point of my question. It was never about like all those other things. We've been through that. I agree. Listen, like I said, no one has kept up. Of the three of us, I have been the biggest Saleh guy for the last 2 years. I think he's gotten dealt a crappy hand, and I think I am aware of all of the difficulties in being a head coach of a pro team in New York versus other places, and I have given him those excuses. I understand that, like you said about Woody Johnson, fat hands, and him being saddled with this quarterback who can't play, and him not being able to really do anything about it. Yeah, I don't blame him for any of that, and I have not blamed him for any of that. But when this thing blows up in his face and he shows that he's a rube, he doesn't know. I mean, the dude is not from, I mean, come on. Like, that is out of control that you got this guy reading text messages, and the idea that you think that it's a good idea for you to take even 5 seconds out of your day to be texting Joe Beningo, oh, well, I know my record is this, but this guy, when he lost his quarterback, look at what his record was. To take 2 seconds out of your day to do that is unbelievable. To me, like, that's I lost all faith and respect for the guy right there. I'm sorry.
And honestly, like you said that how somebody didn't get into his ear and tell him that was a bad idea. Honestly, I don't have faith in the organization to whereas maybe they thought it was a good idea and gave him like, yo, listen, Rob, like, this is Joe B. He's a big fan. He's a season ticket holder. Like he's got a
but
voice
that's
in
the
the thing.
Because the way that they're, from what I understand, the way that their relationship started was, again, this is Joe's account. He says that he sent Saleh some type of merch. I can't remember if it was a shirt or a hat or something with his podcast logo on it, with, I'm sure, some type of a letter. Hey, this is from me. I'm a big fan. I'm a radio host, whatever. That arrives at the Jets at One Jets Drive, and it makes its way to Saleh. So whoever gave him this package and then, communicated to him, this is, oh, yeah, that's Joe, blah, blah, blah. There must have been some type of conversation. And that's why I'm just like, yo, how in the world did this dude let this happen? Like, how was, first of all, I don't even know that it's up to somebody else to get into his ear that this is not what you should be texting to any fan, let alone a sports radio host. But even if nobody did get into his ear, or even if he didn't know better, I'm just surprised that at no point, like, somebody didn't say something, he didn't think something, like, crazy.
But that's automatic, like, off the top. That just makes that's more bad on the organization, because off the top, this guy has no clue who fucking Joe Benigno is. So the fact that that thing comes to that, whatever that message gets to the offices, One Jets Drive or whatever, and it gets to him as if it's already a pseudo confirmation that this is a good idea to get in cahoots with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he has no idea who these fucking people. He doesn't listen to New York Sports Talk Radio when he's in fucking San Francisco or in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that's fine. But if you're the head coach of the fucking Jets and you're gonna start getting in a relationship with somebody like that, somebody who sends you anything, like, come on, man. Like, I understand what you're saying, but also let's be real about this. If you were named the head coach of the Jets tomorrow and you get some care package from some dude, you're going to start texting him and developing this whole relationship with him without at any point listening to the fucking podcast or doing some type of recon on who I'm exchanging information with?
I mean, I get.
Like, you're just gonna get this shit, and let me just talk to this guy, and this is my new pal. Come on, man. Like, let's not be naive here.
I get what you're saying, but getting the okay, maybe that's his smell test. Like, for example, because getting the package to get the package getting to his desk, and the message getting to him, maybe that's the smell test for him.
Well,
because, for example, like,
than I thought.
Yeah, but for example, like they were, oh damn, the Steelers going in. But for example, like they like with Stugatz, who said that like he can't get an interview with Robert Saleh or whatever.
He has. Speaking of Stugatz, he has Joe Beningo on soon. I can't wait to hear that.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
so even Adam Gase knew better than to text that dumbass type of shit to Stugatz.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's where that there's barriers that he's not the one in charge of. It's like, oh, okay, this guy, oh, who's this? Oh, he's a big fan. He's got sports radio talk. Oh, yeah, text him back. Maybe you guys will hit it off. And
then you just do it blindly. Then he's a fool and he should be fired. He's not cut out to be a coach of a high school team, let alone a professional team. If that's how he rocks, that you're just gonna, let me text this guy and tell him everything. I don't
Well,
want somebody like that running my team.
I mean, like I said, I'm not entrenched in either way. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to go through the psychology.
Well, I mean, I mean, going through the psychology is a frightening experience for me, because when I put myself in the psychology of somebody who doesn't know better than to do that, or doesn't bother to, find out who this guy is on your own, independent. Even if somebody did recommend to him, you should have a relationship with this guy, it could be beneficial to you, whatever. If he doesn't do his own background on this guy, and he's like, okay, again, if you don't want to go through that, if that's your smell test, if you're going to take the Jets organizations, whatever, if you're going to take their word for it and take their advice, fine. But if you're gonna be texting him this type of detailed stuff, like if you're just gonna have a casual relationship text, oh yeah, whatever, and just kind of shoo the guy away, that's one thing. But if you're gonna be texting this dude and actually like having this type of back and forth, detailed communication,
Well, yeah, I mean,
defending
that's
your
beyond
record, all this
stupidity.
craziness, and you don't even know who you're talking to, that's a personal problem, bro. That to me reflects on him individually in a way that is stunning. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
Whatever.
so are you excited for the return of Zach? You know what the great thing is? You've said many times that the Zach attack is back, but I feel like it has never been more relevant and true than it is today.
We call it the stack. Well, I mean, I've been calling him this for years, but I've been calling him keep it a stack attack because like
I don't know if I
he
heard
kept it kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? You guys wanted me to get benched. Now y'all want me back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because it's funny because
I do have to say,
honestly,
I don't know how, I don't necessarily hate on him for that.
yeah, but one, I don't hate on him for that, but two, he was probably just like, yo, I don't even know if I want to go back in there. It was just probably an off the cuff remark, and then somebody doesn't like him. Like he clearly doesn't have.
But here's
He
the
clearly
thing.
has a lot of people who doesn't have many allies in the room, and it was like, yo, he said that he doesn't even know if he wants to get back in the game, and they turned it into that.
No, I agree with you that it wouldn't be shocking if this was just a more benign in passing comment.
Off the cuff.
What?
Off the cuff,
Yeah, off the
he
cuff
just
comment. But based off of the reporting, whatever the comment was, whether it was meant in a deliberate, intentional, serious way, or if it was just some throwaway line like, I don't even know if I want to go out there, tell you the truth, ha ha ha, everybody laughing. Even if it's whether whichever of those it is, based off of the reporting, it was known amongst several people that he was genuinely reluctant about playing.
Yeah, but I think the genuine is like if you like him or not, or if you got what he was saying or not. I think that's
So you
that's
don't
just
think
the
he was
interpret.
serious? You think he's dying to get
No.
back out
What
there?
I'm no. What I'm saying is that the interpretation of like he meant it seriously, or like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. He was just talking shit.
So you
I think
so you don't believe that people in the Jets organization thought he was reluctant to play. You don't believe that to be true.
Yes. No, I believe that is true, but that's just
Well,
based
that's all
on
that
how
matters.
you took it. Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's just based on how you took his comment. Like if you like,
Yeah, but
don't
they're
like
there
him,
with him. They're there with him. They didn't just read the comment in the story. This is from people who were with him. So the comment combined with everything, combined with being around the guy in the facility. I'm saying, like, whether the comment was meant serious or not, and whether you like him or not, the comment was a part of a bigger package of what this dude is giving off, what his vibe is, other things he may have said that conveyed to several people in the organization like this dude is not really about trying to get back out there.
Yeah, and I mean, because some of his past stuff, like I said, some of his like, the what he said back, like last year or whatever. It all comes together. Like
Yeah, but
people
you
have
just
their
want to focus on, oh well, it's not being reported properly and it's
no,
not
no, 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 no,
fair.
because no. This is you
This is not me. This is
taking.
what you just said. I just asked you, and you
No, but
went
what I'm
into the whole
saying
thing
is,
about, oh well,
but no, no,
I
no,
think it
no,
was an off the
because
cuff. I don't think it was
but
genuine, and it
no,
depends on how you take it, whether you like him or not. That's not the point. The point
it's
is
not.
that
No,
do you
but see,
believe that the guy
this,
giving off vibes that he wants to play or he doesn't want to play? Who gives a
but see,
shit
this
about
is
the
the problem.
report?
Yeah, but this is the problem. What I'm saying is the people who said it. I'm not saying fans. I'm saying the people in the building who heard about that commentary based on how they feel personally, because obviously he's polarized in the room based on like last year, based on who heard it is based on it's what side did they decide to take on based on how they feel about him. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, I'm
Yeah, but
sure
that's
some of the
obvious, is it not?
players
Is that not obvious?
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the reporting. I'm sure there's people who took it a certain way and people who took it the other way. But like my point is like if people who don't really like him, don't really rock like that, heard it, they're like, yo, can you believe it what this motherfucker said? And then on the other side, it's like you understood what he was saying. So it's like it's I'm not talking about the reporting. I'm talking about like who conveyed that to the report.
Excellent. Well, word life, are you excited for the Tommy DeVito era to begin? Are we gonna just rattle off a bunch of wins, go to the playoffs, and forget about drafting a quarterback? Is Tommy DeVito the future?
Well, as of right now, I think we got like the 7th pick, so I'm trying to get closer to number one. That's
So you're
really
not
my
hoping
goal.
for the win this Sunday
Nah, a
or
good
Monday?
defensive.
Excuse me.
Is it Monday or Sunday night?
Doubleheader.
We got a
Oh,
Monday
Monday.
night.
Oh,
No, because Sunday night,
another double Monday week.
because Sunday
yeah.
night we got the Philadelphia and Dallas.
No,
Yeah.
Sunday night is I thought Sunday night is
We can't watch
is
tonight,
Dallas
yeah.
Philly Sunday night? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because Bills Chiefs is 4:25.
Yeah. Nah, you know what though? I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants squeak off a win and they're home, right, against Green Bay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that defense plays well enough to keep it within 13, 17 points.
That sounds like
But
a pick.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I heavily thought about
That
it, but I
actually
didn't.
sounds like a 3. Sounds like a 3-point.
They're gonna they putting some Parmesan on that boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, man. But I really don't want to win it. I don't want to win no more, man. I lost all the
win no more.
yeah, facts. Lost all luster, all lackluster, whatever the word is. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch DeVito fucking win games. You know, I like the story. I want him to, do his best and everything. But as far as winning games, like, come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, yeah, don't let Tyrod play because he's a better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, does Tyrod deserve to play? Yeah, he does. But don't put DeVito in there and then be like, okay, let's formulate a fucking master plan to upset Green Bay. No, let the fucking kid go over there, fucking have fun, and everybody wins while losing.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. For me, I can't. I mean, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not a fan of a team. So, I always worry about the whole like trying to get a better draft pick, just because I just feel like too much losing leaves a stench that's hard to get rid of, man. And I just feel like when that like. and not to go back to the Jets, but I always think when it comes to the Jets, like one of the most unfortunate things about what has happened this season, especially coming off of last season, is that I looked at the Jets of last season as a team that was young enough and naive enough in a good way that they weren't draped with all of that stench, all of that negativity, all of that, all that. They didn't have all that losing on them that they get used to it. You know what I mean? Like these are dudes that had, coming off of, some of these dudes didn't even lose a game in college. You know what I mean? Like they're from winning programs and they're like tradition of winning and just like that standard. And like I just worry about when you have a squad full of dudes like the Giants, you know what I mean? Like I feel like they still believe in Dable. You know what I mean? Like they still believe that he's gonna put them in a position to be successful and all that stuff. And I just feel like if they lose out, like yeah, cool, we got a better draft pick, but
no,
how much
normally,
do you end up losing some of that fire from these dudes? Like how much do they still believe in the coach? How much do they kind of start to think like, yeah, I'm listening, but I'll do whatever I want, or like they, it just changes the whole vibe. You know what I mean? And that's what, like with this whole thing, it's just like like. Like I said, you have these young dudes and they come in with this standard and they're not trying to hear about, we're here to lose, we're losers, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like after you go through a season where you lose a bunch of games straight and you just have that dark cloud, it just, you know what I mean? Like it just changes shit.
No, and normally I would agree with you, but so many things happen, like the injury to Jones, like that's a perfect window. Like the fact that Vito has this social media, it's a perfect window to just you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I feel
here we
you.
go. Waller's hurt. Oh, sit him. We're not going nowhere. Put Waller on the bench. Here, it's a kind of a perfect window. And it's also a quarterback draft, a big quarterback draft.
No, I feel you 100%.
So there's a lot of things. But normally, yeah, I'm always trying to upset teams and all that shit. And, I play that. But I'm a little older now and I'm kind of trying to look at the bigger picture. And yeah, you're right. The stench of losing is there. And that's definitely something you don't want to carry on, but with everything that's happened, with all the injuries and all the circumstances, it's like fuck it, man. Just let the kid go out there and play like that. Like it's like we're not saying tank, but hey, we got this kid here, DeVito. He's a
guy.
He's a media sensation. I'm fucking.
Yeah.
Got a couple phone calls and they kind of giving me no, offer I can't refuse over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the most ridiculous things that I've heard, right, in terms of this Tommy DeVito stuff, tell me how I was listening to, I think I was listening to Anita Marks on Saturday, this past weekend. It was like for a couple seconds or whatever. And she said she mentioned that Tommy DeVito had a meet and greet at a bar or a club.
I heard about that.
In Hoboken, right? Saturday night.
He went platinum.
Like how? Shit is so ridiculous. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I love this story, but shit like that, it drives me crazy. Like when when people kill it, it's almost like whatever, like when a joke or a meme is funny as hell, and then other people kill it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the thing with him.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed as an older Giant fan, fans are fucking stupid. Nah, for real, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I'm a Giant fan, but I'm not a delusional. Stupid. I feel like Giant fans are stupid, man. There's a lot of stupid Giant fans, man.
You have fans like that in every fan base. That's not unique to Giants.
The only thing is for example, like the Giants fans, there's probably there's probably 75% stupid fans for the Giants. There's probably like 85% stupid fans for the Jets that kind of mess it up for everybody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's not like Giants fans that are in the media, they hide it a little bit better. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for example, Michael K is a Giants fan, but he pretends like he isn't, right?
Mhm.
And like
There's a few.
Ralph Vacchiano, he's a Giants fan, but he
Yeah.
hides it better. And
Uh-huh.
then you got these buffoons like Mike Greenberg that go out and like put a fucking Jets jersey on, on opening day. It's like, yo, dog, get the fuck out of here. You're part of the reason why people hate him. You know what I'm saying? It's like because
Yeah.
you're a moron. Like no other team has, because we're talking about ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have people on ESPN when it feels like you're force feeding. Oh, we're talking about the Jets. Oh, yeah, because Mike Greenberg is a Jets fan. Of course they're going to talk about the Jets. Like,
Yeah.
just sometimes just shut up. Like,
Yeah.
not everything has to be reported as if it's like big news with the Jets. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
No, I feel you.
like they know how to keep it on the low a little bit better, so people don't hate them. And obviously they've won, so it's a little bit different. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. Like what I said. Like I 100% agree with you on your take about you don't want them to tank you. You want them to kind of win.
Yeah.
You also understand that it's probably better that they lose the rest of their games, but you probably don't want to hear for the next 6 weeks, the next 10 weeks, the next 3 months about how bad they are, and all the turmoil and all this shit. So it's like you could understand both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, exactly. I could understand both ways, but I kind of leaning towards let the guys that don't play a lot play, and let's see just what happens. You know what I'm
but
saying?
also, but I'm saying like you could also understand what Bobby's saying. Like you don't want that to infiltrate
No,
their
yeah,
way to where
1,000%.
like they think that they're like, they're supposed to lose. But also, it's like
You
I would
can't say
hope.
that neither. You can't, as a coach, be like, "Hey, team, huddle up. Hey, we're
Yeah.
gonna bunt on the fucking season." Like,
Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this happened. Hey,
yeah, yeah.
but
You can't really say that to a
like
play.
I think,
You can't
but
really
I
say
would,
that to a team. Right.
but I would hope that the players that both of these teams drafted are smart enough to realize, like up, like almost to what Robert Sala texted supposedly to Joe Benigno. It's like, yo, when your franchise quarterback goes down, it's going to be a shitty season.
Yeah.
And I know it was, your like for example, like Daniel Jones went out in what, week 7?
Yeah, he was playing bad already.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it's another hit to where you're like, all right, this guy's backing up. He's he's the backup for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like when it happens like on the first drive, like for the Jets, it's like you already take the hit, and you know it's not going to happen. Like once that happens, it's last year is going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that I would hope that they're smart enough to realize.
Yeah, thanks.
We shall see. We shall see. We will all see what's going on Monday night. I don't know because I know that there's a slightly staggered start of the games, but I don't recall what the.
No, I saw they were both at 8.
The Giants are like 8-15.
Because that was the thing. I just remember seeing that they're not. It's not a double header. Like you can't really watch both games.
Yeah, that's so whack.
I got
you should have had the Giants.
I got the end season.
What is going on with that?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Is it just like they don't want to?
Who's the other team? Who's the other team?
I think they just owe ESPN.
Titans and Miami, no?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. It's like, yo, put the worst teams out. Let's get them out the way. Nobody's watching.
Well, if we're gonna put two bad teams, might as well put 2 games to where like, you could look over here, look over there. It's almost like mini red zone.
But I think the teams were decided long ago. I don't know that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know that everybody knew that the.
No, but what I'm saying is not flexing them out.
Speaking of flexing them out, Mr. Flex himself. Speaking of flexing them out, I almost got. I'm holding on for dear life. I said it weeks ago. Flex was gonna make his move, but I was able to just a slight step ahead. Thankfully, everything that I said about the Bengals was 1,000% right, and they not only covered the 9.5, but they won outright. As I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they would. But anyway, recapping last week and recapping the score currently stands. The box is obviously busting everybody's ass. Unfortunately, I forgot to do the box picks during the live show last week, but the box had Bengals, Panthers, and Falcons, all who covered. So the box goes 3-0 once again, 6 points with a total of 56 points on the year, 28-11 against the spread. When is this going to end?
That is so ridiculous.
It's insane.
That's the box is the greatest gambler of all time.
Yo, seriously, like when we would discuss this before, I was like, this can't continue. But we're already gonna be in week 14. Like, when is this gonna slow down? I thought at some point it's gonna slow down, but not yet. The box stays in front. We all had pretty good weeks though. Nobody had an 0-3 or a 1-2. Everybody was at least 2-1. Everybody had at least a winning week. Word Life and I both had our 3 and 2 point picks. So we both got 5 points. No movement there. Flex also got 5 points, but missed the 2 point pick. Got the 1 point pick right, and Puka Nakua came through for you with the 1 point touchdown. So 5 points for everybody. Standings remain the same.
And they were all this close.
No movement at all. So I'm at 48, Flex at 47, Word Life at 39. 5 points for everybody.
Nice.
So this week.
And also, quick, the box is picking currently at rounded up one decimal, 72%.
Yo, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's not even. It's not funny or like a joke anymore. Like at first it was like, oh, the box is. Now it's like, yo, what's going on?
It's like if you
how did we take advantage of it?
If you would have done the box first last week, it probably would have moved me off the Buccaneers and Panthers pick.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew, like, I still felt pretty good about the Jets pick, but once that Falcons came out at the 3 point pick for the box, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it proved to be right. But we march on. So for me, for my 1 point pick, oh, man, am I going to do this again?
Yeah, you are.
No,
the Jets?
I can't do it.
Gotta be the Jets.
I can't do it. I want to, but I can't.
It makes more sense this week.
I want to too, but I won't.
I can't do it. I want to, but I can't. I thought about it long and hard. I think they're gonna win the game, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
I think so too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go with the Jets. I refuse. I can't go through that again. My 1 point pick. I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears hosting the Lions, getting 3.5. I watched that Bears Monday night game 2 weeks ago and just laughed hard at what Justin Fields was doing. But low-key,
he's so ridiculous.
The most I'm not taking this as a Justin Fields pick. The most impressive thing to me, the Bears defense, there's something going on there, man. They've been getting better and better every week. I mean, like I said before, a lot of people, myself included, I really questioned the trade that they made for this guy from Washington.
Montez Sweat.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just him, but I don't know what else to point to kind of decide, explain how their defense seems to have turned it around. But I'm just going to go I'm going to take that defense. I don't think I saw a lot of stats on Jared Goff in December and January. He is, I think, well below 500 against the spread. And then you have stats with him in cold weather, stats with him on the road. All signs just kind of point to the Bears at minimum covering, if not winning this game outright. So I'm just going to take a fade. It's only a 1 point pick, but I think that the Bears, in a bad weather game, in a crappy, nasty field, I think the Bears are getting healthier. They're coming off of a bye. So I'm going to take the Bears 1 point pick, and I'm going to take the 3.5.
I like it too. Justin Fields, he's infuriating. He's he's magic on. He's like Lamar. Like he's Lamar Jackson, but with like Butterfingers.
Yeah, and
You
he's
know what I'm
also
saying?
played
Like,
well against the Lions too. So
Yeah, I'm about to
yeah.
say that. And the number
And
one. Go ahead.
oh my bad. And the thing with it, Jared Goff, like
Mhm.
you even if he like because last year I made a similar pick based on outdoors Jared Goff and I lost it. I might have been the Jets game or whatever. But there was a couple games similar to that. Um, but
I think it was the Jets
you
game. I
you
think we were
don't
both
trust
on that game.
yeah you don't trust him. I don't
Mhm.
know if it's the way he looks.
I
Like
think it is. I think
what
it's. I hate to
it,
say this because I think it's like a little low key disability. I think it's the way he talks. He has like that heavy tongue. He has like a
yeah.
little bit
So
of a lisp, but like his tongue is
and
too
it
big
gets
for his
heavier. You
mouth.
know,
You
it
ever
get
caught that?
yeah, and it gets heavier. You know, like your tongue gets heavier
When
in
it's
the colder weather.
I think
You know
what
what I'm saying?
happened was
So
he did
maybe he can't get the
he
play
put the
calls
tongue
out.
on the pole like in that movie, and he's never the same. Never recovered.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. And maybe he can't get the play calls out on time. You know, because you know what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, that's the
so
perfect whatever. What is that? Not Detroit. Chicago Daily Post. Him as the fucking kid with the tongue. If he
Yeah,
loses on the
yeah, because
fucking,
if I'm not
that'll be
mistaken, that story
perfect.
took place in Chicago, like
yeah.
the Christmas story.
I think
Oh,
I
you're
did
think
it?
right.
I love that
it's
movie. I gotta
I
watch
think
that
it's in
shit to see
I
it.
think it's in Illinois that takes place.
I don't think I've ever
Fire.
seen that movie, but that's a whole nother story.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 point
2 point.
pick. Oh man, I felt good about these 3 games. I just wasn't sure how to do the point allocation, and I'm nervous that I'm gonna pick the wrong ones. But 2 point pick. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. Take the Seahawks. I'm gonna fade the 49ers. Now, 49ers obviously busted the Eagles.
Buzzsaw.
Busted them up pretty bad last week. As you know, I had them as my 2 point pick. I expected that, but the same way I expected them to bust up the Eagles for all the reasons I said last week about how they had that game circled on their calendar and that was, they were going to get up. I just could not imagine, especially obviously after the Eagles were coming off of that overtime game. I just did not see any way possible that they were going to get up for that game as much as the 49ers were. With that being said, now that that game is over, all the talk has been about the 49ers, about how, they just leapfrogged. Everybody was on the Eagles. They had the winning streak. They couldn't find a way to lose, and then they just get completely slapped up by 49ers. Now it's all about the 49ers. 49ers are the best team. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy MVP, yada, yada, yada. And that all may be true, but they're not coming into this game looking at it the same way that they went into that last game. I don't expect them to lose to the Seahawks, but that's just a big number. That's a division game. The Seahawks are desperate to try to hold on to a playoff spot. Seahawks have gotten slapped up by the 49ers in recent past, but that Thanksgiving night game, the Seahawks came into that game as a completely dead team. All you heard them talking about on the broadcast was about how Geno Smith's elbow was the size of a watermelon, and he was all, he was questionable to even play in that game. That was their first game without Kenneth Walker. They came limping into that game. They were dead on arrival. This game, they're coming off of a bye. Geno had a week to get healthy, playing a team that they're familiar with, and they're just getting a way too big of a number. Maybe they lose by 10. Maybe they're never even in it, but they get, maybe they're down 17 and then they get a backdoor cover touchdown and they lose by 10. But that's just a huge number for a team that, Seahawks are not garbage. They're struggling, but they're not garbage. They could very well make the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Seahawks. I'm going to take that big number, and that's going to be my 2.
What's the number there?
11.5.
Okay.
So I'm going to take that on the road, but still a big number. I'm going to take the 11.5. And then the 3-point pick, I'm going to put my faith in my guy, Patrick Mahomes. I've said this before. When I can get Pat Mahomes given less than a field goal, that's almost always a green light for me. You're telling me I can get Patrick Mahomes coming off of a loss only given a point and a half. The Bills obviously are very desperate for this game. The Bills, they're still banged up. They still got Josh Allen. And I like Josh Allen. I like to watch him play, but I also like how he keeps both teams in the game. And I just feel like that could be a little bit of a house of horrors for the Bills, man. Like last time they went into, if I'm not mistaken, because if I'm not mistaken, I took the Chiefs against the Bills last year and they lost. But I don't think that's gonna happen twice. And I just feel like the Mahomes and Chiefs fade has gone a little too far in the opposite direction. I think that the Chiefs offense is obviously not what it's been the last couple of years, but even the last game we saw them play, like, yeah, they got beat by the Packers, but they're a couple of drop passes away from winning that game too.
Not even a couple. We won.
Yeah, so I'm just one drop pass, but there were several drop passes. They only needed one to win the game or to
yeah.
But so yeah, I'm just gonna put my faith in the Chiefs. I think that they are still looking towards trying to get that number 1 seed, especially now that we don't know what's going on with the Jags and with Trevor Lawrence, because they were gonna try to push for the number 1 seed, but I don't know how likely that is if Lawrence is gonna be out. They already have the tiebreaker in hand against the Dolphins, so I think that they're gonna go into this game knowing that they're still alive for the 1 seed. They can get healthy if they can get that 1 seed. The Bills are banged up, and the Bills are just coming into the game. Like, I think that there's a desperation there, but there's always gonna be a couple of stragglers in the locker room that are just like, you know what, man, this is a lost season. Let's keep it moving. It just feels like there's a lot going on with the Bills. They've kind of given up. They're not in that same type of championship mode as they would have been at the beginning of the season. I think the Chiefs are still very much looking towards trying to win a championship this year. So I'm going to put my faith in Mahomes, and it's only a point and a half. Basically, all they got to do is win the game. I mean, I say that now, and then they'll end up winning by 1, and I'll get screwed. But I'm going to take my chances. Hopefully, they can win by at least 2, and that's going to be my 3-point pick.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
You see, the Patriots have scored more touchdowns than they have in the last month.
Well, who scored them? Because I got a couple. I got some coin
Ezekiel
on
Elliott
Zeke. All right.
and
I got Zeke 1 anytime. I got Zeke 2 anytime, and I got Juju.
No, it was
Thornton?
Hunter Henry.
Oh, Hunter Henry.
All right, so that brings.
All right, so y'all both have 5. Flex got the touchdown 5. Word Life didn't get the touchdown.
So you got the legitimate 5.
Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever.
No, go ahead, Cheeks. You got the legitimate 5.
All right. For my 1-point pick, I'm gonna do a few switcheroos because I had that KC game too. But for my 1-point pick, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers.
Oof.
Yep, getting 5 at
Such a whack team.
It
cost me $300 last week.
At the Saints at New Orleans. I don't know, man. I just feel like the Saints are just spiraling downward, man. It just like I don't know what's going on there. I just feel like there's no consistency. There's like their castle's just it's built on quicksand, and it's just sinking fast.
And you might get
Carolina
Jameis for that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, you're right. And Carolina showed a little spunk last week. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think Flex, didn't you had him right?
No. The box had the Panthers.
Oh, that's right.
I had the Buccaneers in a parlay.
Okay.
But I will say, the Panthers are terrible, man. They got at some point. I know it was across the 50-yard line, but they had a timeout left with like a minute and change left, and They were down 3 because they went for 2, and they brought it down from 5 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a timeout left, and they didn't call it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's ridiculous, like still running out, but just the optics of not calling the timeout where you got to stop, and it's second down, even though there wasn't enough time to actually get the ball back. Just the optics of you not even going for it is ridiculous.
Nah,
It's a terrible team from top to bottom.
It is. But the Aints is back though. The Aints are back. The garbage bags are back. So I don't know. I feel like Carolina's will keep it. I might. They might just win. They might just win that game, man. Honestly, that's how bad the Saints are to me. Unless Peyton Hill takes some Peyton Hill. Peyton Hill comes, and has
it's the same
miraculous game. But yeah, give me Carolina to keep it within 5.
Real quick,
win. Yeah.
Real quick, that's part of the reason why they're that way, in my opinion. They got Derek Carr goes down the field, and they bring in fucking Taysom Hill.
No, but
for some reason, he throws 2 passes down. Then he goes on and he catches a pass. Like, they target him on a pass down the field. Like, Chris Olave will catch a 60-yard pass, bring him down almost to the 20, 25-yard line, and then they'll bring in fucking Taysom Hill to run the ball up the middle, to throw it to a fucking tight end because he doesn't have an arm, and then they'll move him off of that, and then they'll have a pass play that goes to Taysom Hill. Like, yo, get out of here. That's why your team stinks.
That's what they bank. That's what they bank on. But I don't know, man. It just feels like I feel like Carr. Like, yo, I was just thinking this the other day. Like, fucking the Jets with Carr. The Jets dodged as terrible as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds. The Jets dodged the bullet not going with Carr. He's fucking horrendous. He's fucking horrendous. I was just thinking that shit. Is he better than Zach? Yeah, probably. But God, he's making me scratch my head though.
And that's in a dome. That's in
a dome. And that's another point why I like Carolina too. I feel like Young will probably have a better game inside. I don't know. Something's got to give for that kid. But so that's my 1-point pick. My 2-point pick. Just to be different, I switched it up, and I'm gonna put Kansas City there on my second pick. I had them as my 3-2 with, but I didn't want to copy my man Robot over here, so I got Kansas City, man. The Bills. I heard some guys some pros going with the Bills. Did they just have a bye week, or did they just coming off a bye? Right, the Bills.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's what they're banking on, and I would like to, I had favored the Bills against the Eagles when a lot of people thought I was going crazy, and I would go to Bills here, but not like you said, not after that loss, and I lost that I picked Green Bay to keep it close and to cover.
Pick, by the way.
Yeah, I was very happy about that pick, and I was confident about it, but yeah, man, I think I understand every reason why people will say the Bills, but after a loss like that in prime time, it's hard for me to say, yeah, Pat Mahomes and Reed is just gonna fall back and let some fucking Bills team come in here and beat them at home. So, there's not much more I can say. Kansas City as my 2-point pick.
And it's not like the Bills are like some team that's like together. You have a whole bunch of shit going on with them as well. Not to mention like the shit that just came out about the coach. Stephon Diggs. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other shit is also happening. Their defense is having issues because of the injuries. So
exactly, yeah. Give me Kansas City 2-point, and then my 3-point pick. I don't know if Flex is not going to like this because he didn't like it last week. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans coming all the way down to New York to face the Jets. Something made me feel like I should go with the Jets, right? And like every week, I feel like I just peek over to the Jets just to see, hey, let's see what the Jets defense Can they sneak out a win here? You know what I mean? I always give it a little peek. But then I realized all you need is fucking 13 points. All you need is 9 fucking points. You know what I'm saying? Unless the defense is going to score 4 touchdowns again, or fucking 5 turnovers, which they can do because they're that good, but they haven't in a while. Just give me Houston to score fucking 10 points, fucking 13 points, bro. Give me Houston to score 13 points. That's my mentality behind that pick. Give me the fucking rookie of the year to go downfield without his best receiver fucking 3 times in fucking 4 quarters. That's my mentality. And that's my 3-point pick.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, the Jets, what they do is when you don't pick
Your
them,
flex is amazing. It's
when
amazing.
you don't,
but this is what I'm afraid of. What he's seeing right now is literally
when you
what
don't
I'm
pick
afraid
them
of.
because you know better, right?
Mhm.
That's when they shit the bed. When you go out on a limb and like, you know what? I think the Jets will do it this week. That's where they get you. That's where they get you.
But I felt
where they get you right where they want you.
But you know what's funny? I felt like that like three different times within.
But
like,
you didn't
the last
pick them.
5 weeks. But I didn't pick them. But I was watching though. I'm watching like, okay, if they do this, because I almost want to pick them. If they do it, then I'm gonna fucking pick them next week.
Buyer beware.
But the fact that you don't like my Houston pick again gives me a little confidence.
What is it? No, it's not. Carpe
No, I
diem.
loved that Houston pick last week.
Oh, did you think?
Yeah, the only thing is, it's like what exactly
Like
what I
scared me
said.
though. Like scared me though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying exactly what I said happened. It was just too big of a. It was just too big of a. Like I forget. I didn't see how the exact game went in terms of like the points. But like no. But what I'm saying is
it
like
was like 5 games. It was like a 5-point.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like because had it been like a closer game, like at some point,
game,
if it was a 3-point game,
mm-hmm.
the Broncos probably win it.
Mm-hmm.
But since it turned into a 5-point difference, they had to actually, like Russell Wilson actually had to try to score a touchdown, and that's where the fuck up was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it all depends. Like I missed extra point in some place, I missed field goal somewhere, and like the point differential is where everything changes and how the game flow goes, because that's exactly what happened with the Panthers and the Buccaneers game, where it got down to it was a 5-point after they scored the touchdown, then they went for 2, it was 3. Had they missed the 2-point conversion, it would have been 5, and then the whole game changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all this. It's all.
And that is this week's math lesson by Flex. Thank you, Flex.
And now what we all been waiting for.
All righty. For my 1-point pick, I did the switcheroo. I like the Ravens. It went up a little bit, so I'm not as confident.
Ooh, the Ravens.
Because I think,
Yeesh.
yeah.
I thought about that one, but I heard it's supposed to be bad weather, and the Rams, the NFC team on the road against the Ravens, and bad weather. I stayed away.
Yeah, and the Rams are just
last
such
time
a
the
weird
NFC team that was hot came into Baltimore, getting a big number. How'd that work out for the Lions? Not to say that the Rams are the Lions. I'm just saying that for me that was a stay away.
Yeah. But that's what I was on the Ravens side, like when I was considering the pick. But,
no, I feel you.
Yeah, just the Ravens. Like I haven't seen them in 2 weeks, so I that bye week gives you like a weird feel. But
for them, for other teams,
yeah.
But for the Ravens, yeah.
But for my 1-point pick, I'm gonna go with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh wow!
Ooh, I love it. I love that pick.
I know
that's
they might
a professional pick right there.
They might get Jay Jetta's back, Justin Jefferson, but I just think that the pumpkin, the carriage is turning back into a pumpkin on Josh Dobbs. There's a reason that There's a reason that he's a journeyman.
Oh, by the
There's a
way, I just want to say for the record, you were right. More of those Josh Dobbs interceptions were there were still some that I was saying that it wasn't his fault, but he was pretty terrible. He was more terrible than I thought he was that game. You were right about
this
that.
is the instance where we were both right. The interceptions that he threw, some weren't on him, but there was plenty that he threw that weren't caught. Interceptions.
So he threw 4.
Yeah.
I thought that it was like 2 or 3 of them were not on him. At least
of the ones that he actually threw.
Yeah.
Of the ones that he actually threw.
Yeah.
But
I was even wrong about that. I was even wrong about that. At least 3 of them that he threw. Yeah. One of them was not his fault, and that was the one that was like so prevalent in my mind and made me feel like none of them were his fault. Nah.
Yeah, they
right.
took over the other
At
ones.
least 2 of them were his fault.
Yeah, but anyway, give me the Raiders on that. I just think that the Raiders are pretty gritty, and like the way that they focus on the run with Josh Jacobs. They've kind of reverted to like a smash mouth team. It's like they don't really seem like it, but with Josh Jacobs, the way he runs, very physical. Aiden O'Connell, he slings it. He keeps them in the game. I think that they'll use Josh Jacobs to take the heat off with the pass rushers with Daniil Hunter, take the heat off O'Connell. I just think that this game is, what are they getting? They're getting 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I don't see this. The Vikings aren't blowing anybody out at away. I just don't see it. I just see the Raiders keeping it close. They got their loss out of the way, and we saw that it's a decently coached team. The mentality is what really changed when they made the coaching change. Give me the Raiders getting 3.5, 1-point pick over the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As my 2-point pick, give me the Indianapolis Colts getting 1.5 over the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
This is where like the line switched. The Colts were favorites. Then that Monday night performance, I think, kind of swayed the public and swayed everybody back. But Jake Browning isn't
Colts are still favorites.
Well, I had it here. Was it getting?
Unless it switched in the last.
No. The one that you sent. No, you sent me. They're getting 1 point.
They're getting a point?
Yeah, they're getting a point. Well,
wow, I didn't even see that. That must have happened right before I checked it because it was.
No, but this is off the things that you sent.
No. I know.
You
I didn't even. I had been watching it, but when I sent it, I didn't look at it right before. I didn't look at all the games right before I sent it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That was it switched because I know I had it earlier in the week.
Yeah, they get one.
Yeah. So I think that a lot of people they're putting a lot of stock into the Jake Browning. He had a decent game, but the Jaguars, the way their defense plays, that's why I never trusted the Jaguars. Because of the way their defense plays. It's not that it's a bad defense. They get numbers. Josh Allen, the pass rusher, they got good linebackers. They got a decent line or whatever. But just like the way they plays, I'm never confident in them being able to stop a decent team. So, oh my God, what's his name? A Patriots, another touchdown. I just don't. I don't have confidence in the Jaguars. So the way I think that Jake Browning looked a little bit better than people thought that he would look based off the way he ended the game, the previous game for the Bengals, and everybody showed out. And I just don't think that's going to happen again based off the way that he played in college. Because at one point before his draft year, he was projected to be like a top 10 pick, and then he shit the bed. So I just think that he he has a tendency to look good and then it goes up and down. So I'm planning on him going down against this defense. The Colts defense is looking pretty good, man. I know they were away and they had to go into overtime last week against the Tennessee Titans, but they pulled it out in the end. Gardner Minshew has those big targets. Both of them look the same. If it wasn't for those for having different numbers, 11 and 14, Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman look pretty much the same when they're catching the ball out there. They're always getting those 50-50 balls. And I know that, they're not getting long touchdowns, but they're always getting catching passes over the smaller defenders. So with a quarterback like Gardner Minshew, who throws those YOLO balls up, if you got 6'5" receivers, 6'4" receivers jumping up and high pointing, they'll make you look a lot better. So give me the Indianapolis Colts getting 1.5 points in Cincinnati.
Nice.
For my 2-point pick. For my 3-point pick, I know I dogged them last week going against the the Los Angeles Rams because I know how he plays. But this week I'm going with Smokey Joe Flacco.
Nice.
I know they're giving 3.5. They're giving 3.5. I don't like giving the 3.5 with Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
I know he came in, he looked good, he threw that terrible interception, and he looked like a decent quarterback. He looked like the old Joe Flacco. Then he turned into old Joe Flacco at the end of the game. But I just think that unlike Jake Browning and the Bengals, where the Jake Browning could have an up and down game, we've already seen CJ Beathard enough games of him to know that he's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the defense, I don't like the defense for the Jaguars in a big spot. And I just think that CJ Beathard's not gonna make it against this defense. You're gonna get Myles Garrett 100% back, and you're gonna get the Browns at home. So, it's a warm weather team going into the shitty weather starting. It started last week. CJ Beathard, not a quarterback that I have trust in, going into a shitty weather town against a very good defense and pulling out any sort of victory or even getting close. So in a 3.5 point game, give me the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Browns as my 3-point pick.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I was thinking about him, but that hook got me, and then I wasn't sure if what's his name was out or not. Lawrence.
He's out for like 3 weeks, man.
Lawrence? I'd be surprised if he comes back. I'd be surprised if he comes back.
They did the Saquon Barkley, Brian Dable thing, where like, he might play this week, but he's not. It's a high ankle sprain.
That's what I thought. But that kind of scared me away.
Did he have surgery or no?
No, he went back to get another, another MRI or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so Pickett was the only one that had surgery.
Yeah, but it's a high ankle sprain, and if you're telling me, like, for example, it's like Joe Burrow getting a high ankle sprain where his game is pretty much predicated on going from the pocket, no motion. Where he's going.
I don't know how true that is nowadays because Joe Burrow looked like crap, and then all of a sudden he started slinging it, and it was because his calf was healed. So I don't know.
No, but what I'm saying is,
no, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying I don't know that. Like, I don't look at Joe Burrow the same as he can play. He can play with a banged up ankle or anything banged up lower body. Like, I would have had that same attitude going into this year.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, you getting a calf, and I think that was more because he wasn't able to, like, kind of play going into the season. Like, I'm sure his calf wasn't 100% when they started winning, but it was just like he had the timing down, like, because he didn't play in the preseason. But like with Lawrence, this guy rushes. He doesn't. You don't think of it when like in terms of like Trevor Lawrence's style of play,
Mhm.
but this dude gets after it. Like he rushes, he
Yeah.
dives for touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? He plays a more explosive type of quarterback, and he that plant foot, like that's the one that he dives when he's about to go for the run. Obviously, it's the one that he plants when he's gonna make a throw. So I don't see him playing for like at least 4 weeks. Like I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like it's probably gamesmanship, but I'm surprised they didn't just put him on the four of the IR, the 4 game IR, just to make sure that he's like healed up properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, truthfully, the reason why I asked if he was having surgery is because I think he would come back faster if he did have surgery. Because I feel like that, if they put hardware in that ankle to support it, it's just going to be healing from the surgery.
They folded that boy up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the way that he reacted, at first I thought maybe his Achilles tore.
Yeah, fact.
Like, and the way that injury looked, like, if he's not having surgery, I'm thinking like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, the only reason I
Let's not
didn't
forget
think
the
that it was an
bottom.
Achilles was because of the way he was bent back, as opposed to like
Thank you.
non-contact or like going out. You know what I'm saying? But that shit looked bad.
Yeah, it did. It did.
And last but not least,
What everybody tunes in for.
the reigning and defending champion here. Let's see. It might be. We'll know. Well, we won't know anything. I'm trying to come up with a philosophy for this, but because I'm just thinking like, not only has it just nailed picks, but like, I think it's picked a bye week team once. Like it doesn't even get tripped up by the bye weeks.
Yeah, like it knows.
Yeah, it's crazy.
1 point pick. Ooh.
Damn.
All right.
Oof.
R.I.P. to my 1 point pick.
Yeah.
2 points. Damn, man. I hope this doesn't go 1, 2, 3 against my picks, man. That's gonna be a nightmare.
That'd be hilarious.
That's gonna be a nightmare.
That'd be hilarious.
2 points. Oh, yes. Box is with me on the 2 point pick. We're going Seahawks.
I like it.
Yeah, nah, you could check that. 2 points.
3 point pick for the box.
Oh, and it's the same 2 point pick too.
Wow.
No.
For the first time this year.
J-E-T-S. Jets.
For the first time
Knew
this year.
Wow.
Damn it. That's my 3-point pick.
Wow, I'm sorry. I'm
told
sorry
you.
for you.
I told you.
Yeesh.
Well, I'll take
bad.
on the box.
That's bad. I think next year we might have to institute some type of like if the box picks, you get a mulligan if you want. You get a chance to change it up, because I was feeling last week when that Falcons ball came out. I was like, can I go back?
Yeah.
But there you
Well,
have
at
it.
least that's one.
What was the 1 point pick?
1 point was Lions.
Lions.
Lions 1 point, 2 points Seahawks, 3 point Jets.
So Lions minus 3.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Lions minus 3.5, Seahawks plus 11.5, and Jets. Are they still getting 2.5 or 3.5? That's been dancing around.
There was
a little bit.
3.
Yeah, I think it's
3.5.
3.5.
Cheeks, what was your 3-point pick?
Oh yeah, his was going against the Jets. Houston.
It was Houston. Yeah.
Houston giving 3.5. And there you have it.
There you have
What's
it.
our points breakdown right now?
Points breakdown is currently
46.
box 56. I'm at 48. Flex 47. Word Life 39. Season records currently are box 28 and 11.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Flex 22 and 17. I'm at 21 and 18. And Word Life 16 and 20.
God damn. That's terrible.
But 4 and 2 in the last 2 weeks.
Started off better, man.
4 and 2 in the last 2 weeks. Heating up.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
2 weeks before that really hurt you. You were 2 and 4. So now you're making up for the 4-2.
Yeah, you
With
guys
the
aren't
foreign
giving
too.
me no. You guys aren't giving me no leeway though. Y'all going full steam ahead.
Listen, we still got time, man. It's not.
And also, I've been sweating out those TD picks of mine have
Oh
been
my
pretty
god,
good.
those shits is killing.
Yo,
Yeah.
I should have had that goddamn Elijah Moore
Who'd
touchdown,
you
man. I
got?
was
Elijah
so pissed because
Moore.
I was so
Yeah,
proud of that pick. And
no,
it
bro, my
worked out
nigga,
how I planned because Joe Flacco was looking for him the whole game.
Yeah, he
my
was.
nigga,
Yeah, he
I
was.
don't know, yo, like I don't, I Elijah Moore only has like 3 or 4 touchdowns in his career.
Well, I mean, he had
I'm pretty
Zach
sure.
Wilson as his quarterback for half his career.
Well, I mean, him
Garrett
getting
Wilson
out of
has
New
still
York,
only caught 1 touchdown pass from Zach Wilson. Do you
yeah,
realize that?
And
that's
it was
crazy.
like a 70-yard one,
Yeah, it was the one against
the slant that he took home.
against the Cowboys.
Yo, real quick though, fellas, I gotta work tomorrow, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's already 9:30.
Yeah, no, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Until next week. Oh, before I forget, happy first night of Hanukkah to all my Hebrews and She-Brews. Hebrews and
Happy
She-Brews, happy
That's
first night of
hard.
Hanukkah.
Shit, that
Happy
hat is
Chanukah.
fire, by the way.
Huh?
That hat is hard though, by the way. Super fire.
Thank you. This is the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, no, I know. Shit is hard.
Are you
All right,
pro?
gentlemen.
You pro Israel? All right, bro.
Just don't do that to me.
I'm out on that one.
All right, we were offline.
All right, gentlemen.
All right,
All right,
I
bro.
gotta fucking